Now, I've been traveling for more than 2 years, and so I went through all the seasons in Western Europe twice. From 45 degrees Celsius in Seville, Spain, to below zero in Italy. And during winter, I gotta tell you, if your thermal insulation is not that effective, it gets you pretty hard. It's okay if you have loads of blankets. Let's be honest, sleeping is not really that much of an issue with that. But if you have to work or read or anything that will get you off those blankets, then your hands and your feet are the first to freeze up, and we gotta tackle this. Let's start by first addressing how to prevent the problem in the first place: insulation. The insulation material is what you put inside your van's internal wooden walls to keep the heat and the cold from entering the van. What it does really is slow down the process of your interior having the same temperature as the exterior. The van I bought came with insulation already. It was some sort of wool material. I couldn't really identify at first, but then I realized it was freaking fiberglass. Bottom line is, it was really shit. I've experienced freezing cold nights and boiling hot days I honestly hope you can avoid. There are many materials that you can use to thermally insulate your van, and by now I have used most of the popular ones. So here's what you need. Number one, high resistance to heat transfer. I mean, that's what we want, right? The higher the resistance, the better you'll be able to control the temperature inside your van. Number two, low price. That's the point of this specific course. Allow you to live in a van with the cheapest options possible. Number three, able to withstand vibrations. If you are willing to take your van on many different adventures, sometimes you will go through many irregular terrains, so it's definitely important to make sure your insulation won't fall apart. Number four, resistance to moisture. Having your insulation all soaked up can damage the wood and provide a great environment for bugs to grow in. So at least someone's gonna be happy about it. It's not gonna be you. Number five, non-toxic material. Last thing you want is something that is supposed to protect you actually try to kill you by releasing toxins into the air inside your extra small living space. So, based on these variables, here are a few good options. Number one, sheep's wool. Even though its heat resistance is not top-notch, needing more thickness to achieve a specific resistance, this material is pretty cheap. It's also super environmentally friendly and moisture resistant. It actually attracts the moisture from the metal parts of the van without damaging itself. Now, another advantage to this material is that it naturally purifies the air. The downside here is that it's not that easily found. You might have to order it online, and that would add shipping costs. If you are interested, try ordering it in the Havelock Wool online shop. The link is in the description of this video right below. Okay? Number two, Reflectix. You might have come across this material in some van conversion Instagram and YouTube videos. They are reflective surfaces that are great for controlling radiation from the sun coming inside your van. The problem here is, if you put it into contact with the walls on both sides, it loses its best advantage, as radiation can only travel through air or vacuum. You need at least a 2 centimeter air gap inside your walls for it to have any effect. It doesn't really seem like the best option for me to use it on the walls, especially because if it's not reflecting radiation, its heat resistance properties are really poor. They are great to use on windows though, to keep the hot sun rays from penetrating your van in the first place. Number three, polyisocyanurate foam board. This is an amazing option. High thermal insulation, cheap, easy to work with, non-toxic, and also environmentally friendly. It also has good radiation properties if installed next to an air gap. It's not as environmentally friendly as the sheep's wool option, but just like the Reflectix, you can find them in most big box hardware stores. Number four, fiberglass. This insulation material is only here because I gotta teach you about the cheapest option out there. Now, fiberglass is used in many houses, but their only advantage is its price. Everything else is shit, is not recommended. It's difficult to work with, it's toxic, it's itchy as fuck, doesn't insulate well, and loves moisture. You can find it in any big box hardware store though, so I guess that's another advantage, but you can find the others as well. Number five, 3M Insulate. It's basically a blanket I've used to fill up the holes between the foam board and the wooden shell of my van. I cannot speak for its effectiveness, but I can't complain about freezing inside the van anymore. I have recently redone all my insulation, and I have placed fiberglass with a combination of foam boards and 3M Insulate while using Reflectix for the windows. There are many other materials that I will not be covering here because this is a practical course, alright? So I'm only giving you what's necessary and nothing more. If I were to recommend a material for you here, it would definitely be the foam board. There's practically no downside to it, and it doesn't hurt the pockets. If you are more concerned about environmental issues and the quality of the air inside the van, then you can go with the ship's wool, right? Also a good option. For the windows, I'd use Reflectix when it's warm and the sun is strong, that's for sure. Now, teaching you how to install the installations beyond the scopes of this course, guys. But in our woodworking installation online course, you will learn step by step how to select, order, and install the whole installation in your van to enjoy the summer and thrive in cold winters. Okay, enough about prevention, guys. How can you deal with the extreme cold inside the van if you have to experience it no matter what? Well, heaters. And there are 3 types of heaters that I'm going to talk about here that you need to know. The number 1 is electric heaters. Those are the ones that you connect to the plug and they quickly warm up the environment, sometimes with a fan helping the process. They're very cheap, effective, and safe. About 30 euros you'd be paying. It's very cheap. We have one in the van, and I'll tell you, it's a fucking lifesaver. The downside here is how much energy it consumes. Now, there's a limit to how much power I can take away from my battery, and that's defined by the inverter. My inverter is already quite expensive and big, and still it barely reaches the required power to run this appliance. We only use it when we get the chance to take away power from an external source, like in a camping place or whatever plug we might find lying around. You can look for these heaters literally everywhere that sells home appliances. Number 2, gas heaters. This would be the ideal option for me as I already have a complete gas system and LPG is really super cheap. But the problem is it's absurd price. It won't cost you less than several hundred euros, but maybe you're lucky and you can find a used one. You know, I wouldn't count on that though. They're very difficult to find. A reliable brand is ProPack, so check them out. If you got the money, the link is down below. The last downside to it would be the difficult to set it up. You see, it can be pretty dangerous because it exhausts harmful gases like carbon monoxide from combustion, and this can literally kill you. So to set it up, you need to make a hole in your van's metal walls where these gases will be released to the outside. This is actually a project I'll be executing in the coming months when I reconvert my van. When that happens, I will update this video with new information, don't worry. You will have free access to our gas system online course when it comes out. In it, I'll teach you the whole process of designing and building your own gas system inside the van, allowing you to eat a hot meal, take a hot shower, and wear a t-shirt during winter. Number 3, diesel heaters. Pretty similar to gas heaters as they both create heat from combustion. This option is considered quite safe if installed correctly. I've never used it, so I don't know how much fuel they would consume. To be honest, I'd be taking a huge guess here on whatever other information about this product that I'd be giving you. So, for cheap and safe van lifing, I definitely go for the electric option. If you have a bit more money though, try installing a gas heater. It will be convenient as you need gas for other things as well, like the boiler and the heater. Lastly, sometimes the opposite problem will arise. It's gonna be way too hot, even for sleeping. I've been there. In that case, I just get a fan, right? They do the job, even though they might not make you feel super fresh on those extremely hot days. They will allow you to at least sleep. And I will see you in the next video.